Hold on, let's have a look. Oop. Set up my thing.
Oh man, this isn't good. This phone needs a long wire for charging. There we go. Cash is joining me. Fantastic.
Done. Just got to sort my little connection out here. It works. Oh.
Doesn't matter. Just go live now. Oh, you know what? Because we were playing that track in the background, it muted us on Instagram when it saved the file, so I'm not going to play it anymore. So it's going to mute a bit. Let's just do it this way now. Okay, so Taha, Dawood, Khadija, everyone welcome. And we got the last few minutes before we wrap up for the day. So let's just spend a few minutes together. So let's just reflect a bit. Let me close everything because I've got all this stuff open thinking, hey, let me see if I can try some new stuff. But, you know, maybe tomorrow. I think I got carried away. I got a little bit overzealous. Okay, so you guys have the phone number on the screen. You're welcome to call me. You're welcome to text me. You're welcome to send me some messages if you like. We had a really good session today. Alhamdulillah, it was a privilege. So tell me, Kash, what was your take on today's interview, mashallah? Well, I knew about the brother before because I remember. Kash, you're muted on thingy on Zoom.
Oh, hold
on. I like that view.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. I can hear you now. Perfect.
Yeah. So basically, I knew the story beforehand. So yeah, so I was like, when you mentioned the name to me, I was like, So then I watched the video again, and I was like, yeah, this is a very interesting story.
I think it's the mic or something. I'm trying to think what I need to mute. Something's echoing. Turn your volume on your phone down. Get volume from one sound system or something, because when the sound comes out of my speaker and goes into your microphone, it creates a loop.
Hold on.
So
better?
Better. Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah,
so we've got alhamdulillah, it was tell me, you said you knew about him before. I didn't. That was a cool part. So when I got into that interview, I just went straight into talking to him, and I had a couple of days before we had the live session, and I had time to look at him, and I look at his videos, and I clicked on something, and I clicked on the video to check it out, but I decided not to. I decided, you know what, it's just more sincere, my questions, if I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So that was, I got him on the phone before we went live, and I said, Richard, listen, I don't know anything about you. And he's quite like, you're interviewing me and you don't know me? And I was like, well, I'm sure you have a lot of people interviewing you who know everything, and I just wanted to try without. And I think I interviewed on Friday, I think it was, Uncle Sam from Saudi Arabia. I don't know if you know who that is. So that was beautiful. Samuel. And I didn't know much. So I was able to sincerely ask questions. Active Savs, modesty for you. Everyone, welcome to our live broadcast. Facebook and stuff, I can't really see. Actually, I can. Let me just see everyone's messages on YouTube as well. So give me just 1 second. And inshallah, that way I can check if anyone's got comments.
Take a sip of this small jug.
Wow, that's very small. What was in that? Tell me. Was it something really healthy? Because I had some very unhealthy stuff just now.
You really want to know what's in there?
Yeah,
I think everybody will want this.
Huh?
So, a little bit of ice.
Ice.
1 banana.
Okay.
About this much of oat milk.
Yeah.
That much water.
Yeah.
1 scoop of rolled oats. So fine rolled oats.
1 scoop of what?
Fine rolled oats.
All right. Okay.
So that's the carbohydrate slow releasing energy there, and then 1.5 scoop of breakfast protein, which is not your normal protein, it's breakfast protein. You get some flaxseed in there. You get some chia seeds. Squeeze of honey. You can put peanut butter. You can put berries. Anything you want in there. A little bit of coconut sugar. Blend it together, and I give half to my father, and I the other half myself.
Oh, mashallah. How's your dad doing, by the way?
Alhamdulillah, he's fine. He's good. He's actually awake, walking around. He does his little laps around the house in the morning. Then he's going to pray.
Yeah, mashallah, tabarakallah. Alhamdulillah. So welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let's just have a quick reflective night. I just want to have a few moments of thinking about, let's talk about life. No, I'm joking. I'm a bit more spiritual, inshallah. Something a little bit more spiritual. You know, just how it is right now, you know, just what Ramadan has been like. And I think I had a little epiphany, I can say. Let me create a watch party, as they say. Is that what that's called, a watch party?
We've got the warning notification there. Look.
A bit of what? Sorry?
The one need notification just popped up on my Facebook.
What is it? What does it say?
It says that we're live.
How do I mute this? That's too many things. There we go. I got the watch party started. So I'm just looking for comments. If anyone's got any comments, if anyone's got any questions, you're welcome to ask. No, let's leave that. Let's not do that. Alhamdulillah. So overall, I think today I had not today, yesterday, the day before, I think it was 2 days ago, I had a bit of an epiphany, Kashif. So those of you who don't know Kashif is our one Eid from Cambridge. He was our one Eid team member from Cambridge, and it's okay. And he was, mashallah, tabarakallah, his team did amazing work out there, and they launched the one Eid project over in Cambridge. And I just wanted to tell Abdurrahman, this is not, oh, I'm on the wrong page. No wonder that watch party didn't work. My bad. No wonder. I was like, why isn't anybody messaging on Facebook? I'm on the wrong page the whole time. Like, where is everybody? Is everyone already gone to sleep? It's not Fajr yet, people. But no, they're not there. So it was the Cambridge Eid Festival was something incredible because there was already a beautiful Eid prayer happening there, and the community that came together to host the Eid prayer. I'm sorry, the Eid festival. They smashed it. It was so beautiful. We still use some of those pictures. And I think you just sent me some today, didn't you?
Just found some. I was looking for my phone. I was like, let me see if I can find any. And they're in my phone. I found a few videos. I just quickly transferred to my laptop and sent them to you.
Yes. Is that all you had? You had more?
I've got more. I didn't want to give them all to you. You know, you might use them again.
Yeah. Gosh, if you can call me on Instagram now. Oh, wait. Instagram, yeah? Oh. Yeah, I'm there as well. I'm having all kinds of fun with the technical stuff. You know that. How do you end a watch party, man? Do you know how to do this stuff? I cannot believe I'm head of IT. No one would believe me if I told them right now that I'm head of IT for a company. They're like, what?
Lovely.
I don't think social media counts as IT, does it? Social
media is completely different. That's what I was, before I was talking to you, I was having a Zoom, a Teams meeting with the guys who manage the social media we're trying to set up something for all the mosques in Cambridge. So it's not as straightforward as people think it is. All the tools are different. All the functions are completely different to like IT. So it's a whole other ball game.
Alhamdulillah, I've had an interesting few. So here's the epiphany, Kashif. You're the first person. I shared it live. I don't know who was watching yesterday or today, but I was on live on Iqra TV. I'm live on Iqra TV every day, 2:30 p.m., 7 p.m. every day with Sheikh Salim Al-Amri. On the weekends, 2 p.m. with Sheikh Salim Al-Amri. Then 9:30 p.m. pretty much every evening with someone different. Like tonight we had Richard McKinney. Yesterday was Brother Irfan, Qari Irfan. The day before that was Uncle Sam. I also had Sheikh Ayub Asif, young guy, mashallah, incredible Qari, incredible reciter from Egypt. And I enjoyed that a lot as well, mashallah. So here's the epiphany I've had, okay? When it comes to Ramadan every single year, let's have a bit of fun, okay? Everyone kind of type this, okay? Give me your feedback. When it comes to Ramadan, when it comes to every year, Ramadan's coming, Ramadan's here, Ramadan goes, then next year, the next year. So what are the thoughts? Just paint the picture in the mind. What is the images that come in mind when you think of Ramadan? You guys type your opinions. Cash, tell me, what are the things that come to mind when you think Ramadan's coming?
Family time.
Sorry?
Prayer. Family time, spirituality, prayer.
Family time, spirituality. Okay, what else?
Celebration.
Celebration already? Fasting, okay.
Fasting.
Fasting. See, I said fasting because everyone says Tarawih, Masjid, Quran reading, Tahajjud.
You also got to remember that we haven't done any of that this year.
Well, we have actually.
It's not as predominant as it normally is.
Well, this is the thing. It became predominant the way it is, the way it was, by culture. It wasn't prescribed. This is what I found out. There we go. Crown, finding inner self and samosas. Okay.
Chaat samosa in the pot. That one.
Ooh, stop that. So I think that what I was. You know what? I find that people do that, and they think about it's become the mosque environment. It's become a social meetup, etc. But really, you see, every year people complain. They pray, they read, and then afterwards they feel, I don't know, I didn't do enough, this, that, whatnot. And often it's the psychological peer pressure that my friend is doing more Quran than I am. My friend is, or my cousin or someone is reading more, praying more, etc. There's always something that someone else is doing more than you. So that can really make you feel negative about yourself and your achievement. But not only that, every night you pray or you go to the mosque, or you used to anyway, you do all that. It was a feeling of not enough. And I realized that one of the reasons that might have been was because what happened to the daytime? Ramadan is not about the nighttime. The nighttime is a gift from Allah that He accepts dua and dhikr and tawbah, etc. But Ramadan, when you think of the month, by definition, is daytime and fasting. The nights of Ramadan are for praying and worship, but the daytime is when the Ramadan actually happens. Because the whole point was to fast. And the purpose of the fast is to achieve something, like a doctor prescribing, "Kutibu alaykum as-siyam." I prescribed for you fasting, as I did for those before you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may attain taqwa. And you have to take this medicine as instructed. And you're supposed to pray Fajr, then you're supposed to maybe, in our case, maybe nap for a bit, but still wake up early, 7, 8 o'clock, and spend your day struggling, make your day longer. And when you feel hungry, what do you do? When you're fasting and you start to feel hungry, Cash, what do you do? What do most people do? Sleep. Most people want to try to sleep the whole of Ramadan. They want to sleep through the fast. They don't want to think about the fast. They feel hungry. They ignore it. They don't want to seem like,
do night shifts.
Yeah, that too, night shift. But the thing is that if you were, okay, that's fine. Give me a couple of those dates, please. And a glass of water, or a glass of milk, actually. Thank you. So basically, I think what it is that when it comes to fasting in the day, you don't want to complain. You don't want to say I'm hungry, etc. But really, you should say you're hungry.
Really?
Like if you say, "Oh, I'm hungry," "Oh, this," "Oh, that," and then what? If you stood in front of your Lord, would you really complain about it? No, you wouldn't. So you're not really complaining. But you're missing the second part of it. That's why it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to complain. Because the second part of it should be, "Oh, I'm hungry for you, Ya Allah. Oh, I'm thirsty. I wish I had a drink. But Ya Rab, for you, there's water right here. I'm not going to drink it. For you, Ya Rab." And why do we do that? Why do we fast? Why am I hungry? I remember this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, Jazakumullah khair, when he said that Allah is not in need of you to be hungry. Allah is not in need of you to stand up and hurt your back and your legs getting tired. Allah doesn't need that from you. So really, you need the fast so you can reflect and think about your desires. You want food, you want drink, but you want other things as well. You want haram things. Some people are addicted to cigarettes, or like thinking, I want to smoke, or I want to drink, or I want to do this, whatever people are addicted to, or their bad habits. You're craving them in Ramadan as well. And it's important to reflect and say, Ya Rab, these are the things I'm craving. Forgive me, help me get them out of me. That's the whole point. So if in the day you were to reflect upon the hunger and then take it to Allah like a hungry person, go to your masalla during the day in your dhuhr, asr, salah, and say to Allah, take these away from me. Take these illnesses out of my heart. Oh Allah, I've sinned. I've committed haram. I want to repent. Those are the times to do that. And then when you get to the nighttime, after all that day of reflecting and thinking of what you should repent for, then when you get to the nighttime of Tarawih and Tahajjud, it's a different taste. It's like the nectar of a mango. It becomes a different thing altogether. So I think people fast, but they try to work and stay busy and try to distract themselves from it. They fast, they try not to think about it. Oh, that cup of coffee I'm used to, or that cup of thing, or whatever, that social drinking, whatever it is, I'm used to. And then you don't want to think about it. So you sleep half the day. You try to get the day over with because Ramadan is about the night. And that's wrong. And I had this epiphany when I realized that the best part of Ramadan for you, for your body, is the daytime, is to be awake, alert, struggle, and give, sacrifice the ability to eat and drink for the sake of Allah. What do you think?
I think we've got lazy this Ramadan. That's well put together.
Say again?
Most of us are working from home. Those who are lucky enough to work from home, then our timetables are changing. We're not traveling as much. We're not going out as much. We're not shopping. We're not doing the things that we normally do. So we're not suffering as much as we normally do. So,
but aren't we also, since we're at home, are we waking up at 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or sleeping most of the day to avoid the fast altogether?
My routine is now, so like I will stay awake till Fajr, pray, I'll eat, pray, go to sleep straight after, but then I will wake up by 11 o'clock, 11:30, mope around for a little bit, brush my teeth, get ready, do some work, read a book, pray, and then contemplate what needs to be done, sort of thing. But then in the evening time, when I'm a bit more functional, I will meet up on Teams. We'll have a little chat with the mosque teams, or we'll have a chat with so I'm working with a company called MyPT at the moment. And so I'll do all this stuff, so stuff still needs to get done, but we don't have to meet that extra energy that we need when we go to travel to our workplaces, the extra energy we use to go out and about, and we're not exerting it. We're just sat at home.
Well, I was also going to say that the fact that you said the predominant way of spending Ramadan isn't there anymore. I was going to say we created that social atmosphere because the Prophet ﷺ prayed Tarawih in his house, and itikaf he spent in seclusion. So Ramadan was not a time for everyone to get together and have a big gathering. And I think that for me, this Ramadan has been the best in 18 years, man. I love this Ramadan because this is how it should be spent. I'm not traveling around. I'm not running to TV stations. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting down, thinking, reflecting, reading. You know?
I 100% agree. It also, I think, you know, that whole saying like, oh, that thing we didn't have, we miss it. You appreciate it more once it's gone. So we all appreciate the Tarawih prayers. We all appreciate giving someone a hug after Eid prayers. All those things that we're going to miss.
How many minutes? One? Oh, it's done. Okay, we'll stop now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, look who's joined us. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, Qari Irfan?
Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm great, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Rakashif, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
Are you still there? Go on, carry on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Just can't see you.
I thought you were talking. Go on, carry on, Irfan.
Sorry, I was just finishing my suhoor with my mother.
Oh, mashallah. How's she doing?
Alhamdulillah, she's okay. Blessed hour. This is the time where I get to spend a quality half an hour time with her. We discuss a lot of things over suhoor, mashallah. And we were just, I was just telling her about the question of itikaf that was answered yesterday. MashaAllah. So
what was the question?
The question was because all the messages are closed, so what will the man be doing? Will they, because they're
Oh
not
yeah.
allowed to itikaf in their house, so they won't be able to do in the masjid. And is it a communal, obligatory, not obligatory, but is it a communal sunnah where at least one person should be sitting itikaf in the masjid?
No, it's not really. Yeah, I didn't see anything about that, but it's
Yeah.
optional. Itikaf is all optional altogether. It's a choice, really.
Yeah, but then again, Sheikh, I was also discussing with my mother. Really, the purpose of itikaf is to attain the night of Laylatul Qadr, isn't it?
Now, the purpose of itikaf, no, it's different from Laylatul Qadr. The purpose of itikaf is to take a few days of Ramadan, and because it's about to finish and it's almost gone, and everyone's going to distract us, people and things are going to distract us from Ramadan, and we're not going to get the maximum benefit that we need. So because of that, we are we are encouraged to do itikaf so that we can disown dunya for 10 days. Disown all the distractions, disown all the things can misguide us to bring us back to our focus. So the last 10 days are about really just focus on the day fast, the prayers, and even in itikaf, Kash, you know, people are confused about that as well, because in itikaf, most of the day, the people in itikaf are sleeping. They sleep most of the day, and they literally just get up for the salat times and then try to read a bit, but they're waiting for the night time because it's all about praying and doing the dhikr and stuff only in the night time. But the sweetness really is built up by the day.
SubhanAllah. I remember when I was sitting for itikaf, the only time I used to sleep was between Zohar and Asr.
Zuhr and Asr. What did you? Oh, because after Fajr there'd be chat. So itikaf became a social gathering, didn't it? So,
it did to some extent. My first year when I'd done it very strictly.
yeah.
Where I was not even talking to anybody as well in the itikaf. I remember the second year I became a bit more relaxed. The third year I became totally relaxed. And the fourth year was like an Eid festival.
Right. So alhamdulillah, I don't know, Irfan, did you watch the interview earlier with Brother Richard?
Sheikh, my apologies. I was with family and
Okay.
I was doing the barbecue, which went really well.
I thought you were going to show me barbecue. I thought you were going to tune in or something. I thought you were going to call in.
At 6 o'clock.
Hey, is my camera not on still? Is that right? You guys can't see me?
No, we can't see you.
I just realized. Sorry.
It was on Instagram. I can see you on there.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, go on. Carry on, Irfan.
Yeah, so the barbecue was fun. I mean, when we were having the meeting at 6 o'clock, I had my camera on for a bit. The fire was on, but I think you were still live, weren't you?
Yeah, we were. We were quite a while. It was.
But I was knackered though. I was knackered, mashallah. It was the hardest thing to do. It was the hardest thing to do. I really wanted to taste it. I really wanted to eat it. And then my brother-in-laws were saying to me, I can see your tempting face. And I said, you know what? I was just speaking to Sheikh earlier. He said, when this happens, you need to go and pray 2 rakah because you're feeling the hunger. And I did.
That's right. That's exactly what I was just telling Kashif about. That it's important to let that hunger come out, because Ramadan's about the hunger. That you need to feel that, and you need to decide for yourself. Ya Allah, making an active decision to not eat for your sake, to not drink for your sake.
Let me tell you guys a funny account what happened while I was doing the barbecue today, right? So when I was feeling the hunger, I said, you know what? I remember what Sheikh said. I think I need to go and pray 2 rakah and make dua to Allah. So I went to do my wudu. I prayed my 2 rakah, and when it came to dua time, guess what dua I made, guys? Ya Allah, I hope the barbecue come out all right, and I haven't put too much salt in it.
Okay, hey Cash, let's disconnect Instagram and relaunch Instagram, please.
Is it not working? Hold on.
Nah, it's not even moving. I just realized.
One sec, hold on.
Wait, sorry, I can't hear you. You saw what?
About what?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm back there now, Cash. You can send me
back
an invite.
on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's very honest of you, Irfan. That's what we were saying. That's very honest of you. So the barbecue was good in the end, yeah?
Yeah, it was good. Alhamdulillah, it was good. It was good.
There you go. I don't know what happened. I think it's because when we launched Instagram, that phone picked up the nasheed that was playing and it saw.
Still echoing here on the thing. Is that? Are you guys getting an echo?
A little bit.
Are you?
Are you getting one at all or not?
No.
Oh, that's fine. Perfect. We'll carry on. I've got the Zoom open now, so I can see you. Assalamu alaikum. I can see you.
Oh, mashallah.
I've got two screens here. Ooh, which one should I look at?
But one of your screens is on headphones, so it shouldn't echo. But I don't know.
I've connected the headphones to my laptop.
Yeah, I do hear a tiny bit of echo actually.
Yeah,
but I don't mind it. It's okay. So so what was I saying? I forgot. Yeah, so about the barbecue. So it tasted good in the end.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I did make dua for you as well. I did say to my family, Sheikh really wanted to be with us soon. And what we've decided is the next time you come to BUI for the halaqah, inshallah, after Ramadan, once the isolation is over and everything, social distancing is off and all that, we'll do barbecue, inshallah.
Oh, that sounds good. But we'll do it at my house, okay? Bring everyone down.
Inshallah.
I'm building this little brick Afghan style old school barbecue.
In the ground?
Huh?
In the ground? That one or overground?
No. It's above ground, but it's made of brick. So it may as well be in the ground, but it'll be above ground.
Have you seen those in ground ones?
Yeah, they're wicked. They're really cool.
Oh, yeah, I've seen these ones.
Ooh. Very nice.
I'm just
That's
thinking.
the next stage.
We're trying to make a we're trying to make a tandoor at home. You know this tandoor made out of clay?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law got one of them. He bought one, so we looked at it and we're trying to make one for ourselves now instead of buying one.
How'd it go?
Well, it's still in the process of making, so I mean we're still conceptualizing it. We haven't got hands-on it yet.
So Ramadan 2025.
I heard someone giggling just there. Did you hear it?
That was Kashif.
Was it?
My side giggle. 4 o'clock in the morning giggle.
Oh, here they are. How do I make this? This is so silly. Facebook has put the comments so small. I cannot see them. Oh, wait, I can click see more. There we go. Hey. I can't believe how horrible I am at this. This is hilarious. I'm like, hey, how do you make it bigger? And it's like, hey, see more. There you go. Yeah. So, you're right. That's exactly what I was talking about, is that when you feel the hunger, that's when you should say it. Hassan, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Who's above that one? Dawood and Hassan, welcome, mashallah. My phone's gonna go crazy now. I can hear it just because I touched it. I'm scared to touch anything, because anything I touch, it starts making these ding ding noises. So what day is this? What day fasting is this, mashallah?
I've lost track.
Somewhere.
Is it day 17 or is it day 18? Samina
depends if you started on the Friday or the Saturday.
Oh yeah, I started on Friday. Well, that was the correct day.
I did the Friday as well.
You did Friday. Friday was the Muslim day, right?
Unlike Pakistan or whoever.
And Saturday was the fasting day, and Sunday was the fasting day too. Let me just say that before anyone says Jalal's just made takfir. No, I haven't made takfir on anyone.
Where is it? I normally have a tab open with all these information, so I can go straight to it. Here we are. So, where are we?
So I noticed a few chats. Okay,
18th.
First of all, this conversation. What'd you got?
18th day.
18th. Okay, so this is the 18th fast. SubhanAllah. Wow, another. Wait.
12 to go.
Wait a second. So one more day today, and that's finished. The 18th. This is the 18th fast, I think.
Yeah. 18th just started.
Done. So this is the 18th just started. Then 19th and 20th, and we're in our last 10 nights.
And then the countdown starts.
Wow. Wow, subhanallah.
You know, Sheikh, to be honest, this Ramadan has been the easiest Ramadan in my whole life, and I just feel bad about it because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling that Ramadan where it's just gone so fast. Time was going so fast. I mean, with other people, it's like, oh, it's easy peasy, and oh, that's so cool. Ramadan is so easy. But I just want to. I still haven't felt it. I still haven't felt that it's Ramadan and it's hard and I'm struggling for it. I don't know. I just feel guilty about it as well. When I'm saying to people that...
What time are you waking up, Kashif? I mean, Irfan.
I'm not even sleeping, to be honest with you.
You're not sleeping?
I haven't been sleeping any nights.
Really?
Really. I've been going to sleep at
what
8
are
o'clock.
What are you eating in the morning?
Yeah. What I'm doing is I've been going to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been waking up for about 10 o'clock because I need to drop my mom off work. And then after that, I'm awake I've been sleeping barely 2 to 3 hours a day. That's it.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. So what time do you wake up then?
About 10.
10, 11? Okay, 10 o'clock. Okay, wow.
Also 10 o'clock, yeah. Because 10:30 I need to drop mum at work.
That's lucky you. That's good. At least you're doing something that is forcing you. Crown, welcome. Let me just click on that.
Well, but again, I've been utilizing the time to read my Quran. So, mashallah, I think I'm not going to say how many Quran I've finished or anything, but I've been utilizing the time to read my Quran.
How old were you when you did your hifz or you studied the Quran? When did you start?
I started when I was 14.
14. Okay.
And I
When did
finished
you
when I
finish?
was just 17.
So in 3 years you memorized it all.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's
I
fantastic.
still got some juz which is very, they would say kacha, as in it's not
Raw.
there yet properly.
Okay.
I've got about 8 juz which is a bit still up in the air.
I had this interview with Uncle Sam the other day, and we were talking about making dawah to people and sharing it with people, etc. I'm going to join YouTube since I can't see the. Yeah, please join us on YouTube. Instagram followers, I've just got it up because people always say, please come on Instagram as well. Okay, but here I am. Just go to YouTube. You can see all 3 of us. Here you can only see 2 of us. So if you want to see Irfan as well, come to. He's the fitna. We're covering him because he's too beautiful. So we're keeping him, fitna. That's that kind of thing.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, now Irfan's worried you're going to show up at a YouTube and be very disappointed. And you'll be like, what was he talking about?
I've got the perfect answer for that one.
But at least you get the viewers.
What's that?
Oh, I can see what you whatever.
Gosh, read it. What is it? I can't say it to you.
It's my emoji.
It says whatever.
Oh, right. Right. You can just do that.
I'll just do that. No, I'll just do the emoji. It's a lot more fun.
I think that I don't think it's been an easy Ramadan. I think it's been easy because you think it's been easy. It's subconscious. It's a lot of mental state. You have to think about Ramadan. There was a interview. There was a phone call a conference call on one of the other Facebook pages. Some of the brothers I know, they were on there and they were talking about how youth are psychologically affected. They're embarrassed of their religion. They're embarrassed of their deen. College students. I think there was something about kids that were born in 2002, 2003, or even 2000, around that time. Kids that were born around that time.
The millennium kids.
Huh?
The millennium kids.
Turning the millennium. Yeah. So by the time they were 10 years old. Huh?
The millennium.
I don't know what happened, but I'm noticing a lot of people whose kids were born around 1998, 1999, up to 2004. Those kids are now 18, 19, whatever. And some of them are even in their 20s. See, some of them are born mid-90s even, but they're struggling with their deen, their belief in Allah. It's interesting. There's something.
Is that geographical or do you think it's age?
No, I think it's just that era. The parenting of that era caused serious doubt. And I'm talking about religious people who pushed Islam on their kids a lot. And
forcefully?
No. Just facilitating, encouraging, and pushing and encouraging, peer pressure type of thing.
Do you not think that's just the education system's got a lot better?
A lot better or more influential?
I think right now it's a lot better. I'm learning more now than I ever did when I was back in the days when I was younger. When I first, especially in Cambridge, it wasn't so bad. There wasn't many teachers and scholars. Now you're on Instagram. There's so many people just out there with such amazing information.
You mean Islamic education?
Islamic education, yeah.
Right. I don't know. I think our attention span shortened a lot, and
that as well.
3 minutes.
Having said that, I find it very interesting what you're saying. As for me, I've got a different view of it. I prefer to go back to the old traditional ways of how we used to learn Islam from books and the teachers directly. Nowadays, a lot of Islam is used for social media and for the internet, like Sheikh Google, Mufti Facebook, and this is how I put it. But when I learned my Islam, I used to sit in front of my teacher literature and learning Arabic books and translating it from person to person. And I found that much better because you get the discipline, you get the tarbiyah with it. I think, yes, I agree that Islam has become more accessible, but people are losing the tarbiyah.
I think someone, Muhammad Malik, just says that that's Generation Z. I don't know what that means. What's Generation Z?
Generation Z is there's
Jay-Z?
different generations. There's
All right.
different names, Generation Z, and then I think I'm stuck in there's another one before that. We won't say how old I am and how old we all are. To the different
Let's
generations.
not go there. Let's not go there. Layla, welcome. Welcome, Layla. Welcome, Adil. Yeah, so Muhammad Malik is saying, like you said about education is more available, but he's saying the quality is not that great, in my personal opinion. And I think that's what Irfan is saying, the same thing. The quality is not all that. Like we have these sessions with Sheikh Salim, and I think the vast majority of people would find it quite boring. I love them to death. And
I love them to bits as well, to be honest with you. This is priceless what we're getting from Sheikh Salim, to be honest with
well,
you.
what I'm giving you with Sheikh Salim is exactly what you said. This is how I learned. This was my teacher. This was who I learned from. I mean, obviously I learned from other people before Sheikh Salim, but that's not the point. I'm saying that that style of teaching, the way he teaches, he's slow, takes his time. He wants to make sure that that point reaches the right nerve and the right memory cells that you will remember. Otherwise, what's the point? Knowledge in one ear, out the other. The problem with one ear, out the other, the biggest problem with that is when you go to the day of judgment, that bit of information went in one ear, came out the other, it can and more than likely probably will be witness against you. So as Aisha radiallahu anha was teaching a young student, and he said, teach me more, teach me more. He kept asking, and she radiallahu anha said to him, have you learned to practice and implement what I've already taught you? And he said, well, no, I'm still working through it. And she said, well, why do you want more witness against you and against me?
Subhanallah.
And that's quite a powerful statement from our mother, the mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask you, I've always wanted to ask you this question. What was your journey of learning the deen? And I mean, who did you learn from? I mean, I've never asked you, and with all due respect, I mean, I'm not asking for your qualification, but I'm asking is, what's been your journey of learning Islam, and where did you study and things like that?
My journey in Islam, where did I study? How did I get to where I am? Is that's interesting. It's a long story. It's quite a long story. It's like actually it's an exciting story. I like telling it because it makes me feel like I'm reliving it, and I go back. I actually enjoy it a lot. I had a very painful experience. Painful journey. I've had a very painful journey. Not in a complaining way at all. I look back and I think, wow, how many times was I in a place that I thought I can't take anymore? How many times was I in a place where I thought, why am I here? Why have I done this? And subhanallah, when I look back and I think how easy I had it, and I just did not know. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah laughs at the believer who is crying about his pain and agony. And Allah laughs at this believer and says, look at my believer, how he's crying about his situation. And the makhraja, the exit, the success is just around the corner, a little bit more, just a little bit more. And one of the Bedouins came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said to Rasul ﷺ, he said, Ya Rasulullah, what are you saying? Laughs? Allah laughs? And the Prophet ﷺ looked at him and said, yes, like out of all of that, that's the only thing you got. So he's like, he looked at him and he said, yes, Allah laughs. And the man said, right, that's it. I have nothing to fear. I will never despair or worry about a laughing God, meaning I'm cool. Whatever happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to laugh off my sins. And that just, you got to love the Bedouin. You got to love the Bedouin, how plain they are and how well they understood things. Simplicity. A man came to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, first of all, I want to quote this ayah where Allah says, I have given you Islam as your religion to make your life easy, not to make your life hard. So people who say Islam is difficult, Anthony Quinn, I think it was, you know, he acted as Umar Mukhtar in Lion of the Desert. He was the actor who played the role of Hamza radiallahu anhu in the Prophet, the Message movie.
The Message.
Anthony Quinn, he also played a lot of other films, but he was on a talk show and they asked him, said, you played Lawrence of Arabia, you played Lion of the Desert, you played the Message. What is your view on Islam? I mean, you had to learn lots. And he sat back, you know, Anthony Quinn, you got to imagine him. Can you imagine him? Can you remember his face? So he sat back.
Yeah, I
and
can put a picture to it, yeah.
He did that look, that sideways look where he looks at you like this. And he did that look and he said, Islam, it is the truth. But it's too hard. And that's really unfortunate because he passed away. I don't know if he passed away in belief or not, because he did say Islam is the truth. I don't know. But what I do know is that he had this approach towards Islam that is difficult, as many people do. And Islam's not difficult. Allah says Islam is chosen for you as your religion to make your life easy. But you make it hard because you want things that are not good for you. You fight for things and you demand things that are not good for you. They're not healthy. So I find that it's incredible because Islam is something that makes everything so much easier for us, and it's just up to us, you know? So where was I? You asked me about my journey, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so my journey was an interesting one. So while I'm saying it's a painful one, and this Bedouin, I was telling you the story about this Bedouin, this is where it kind of starts. So the Bedouin said to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I will never despair of a laughing God. Does your God laugh? He said, yeah, Allah laughs. He said, then I'll never despair of a laughing God. For me, Islam was something always very easy, simple, but people made it difficult. Here's another Bedouin. Most of my Islam, I like listening and reading about the stories of the Bedouins because I just wanted the raw truth. I don't want just someone interpreting verses, because I came from a Christian background. I'm not a Christian, but I used to go to church and study the Bible, etc. I was very spiritual. And I spent time with some Jewish people. I spent some time with some Buddhist people. And I was reading all kinds of books and scriptures. But what I found was I was looking for the spirituality aspect of Tawheed. And what I found was that people interpreted, and that was the problem. People interpreted and changed. So religions were changed, and it was never the same. I could never verify what's the truth, especially when it came to Jesus being the Son of God, not the Son of God, or the Trinity concept. I always had a problem with that. All kinds of things I never could understand. And I found the Bedouins really understood it well. So the Prophet of Allah came and said, Islam is the truth. Islam is your religion. I am your messenger. Ana Rasulullah. Accept, take Shahada, embrace Islam. So a Bedouin came to him and says, okay, tell me. He's kind of rude as well because they're quite harsh. He said, oh, Muhammad, tell me about Islam then. What do you want from me? So he's bartering, right? He's like, what do you want? Let's trade sheep for sheep. What do you need? What are you going to give me? What am I going to give you? He said, Islam calls upon you to do this and that. And he said, what? He said, you must pray 5 times a day. He said, 6? He said, no. 7? No. 5? He said, yes. What if I don't do any more? He said, you don't have to. He said, then I won't. What else? And he said, you have to pay zakat. He goes, how much? This much. Any more? No. You sure? Yeah, I ain't going to give another penny. What else? You have to fast 30 days. 30 days. That's it. No other days. No other day. Just 30 days. He said, okay, 30 days. He said, 30 days. I'm not going to fast 1 extra day. What else? He goes, Hajj. He goes, do I have to? He goes, if you can afford to do it, it's down the road. You can go. It's up to you. And the man was like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to pray 5 times a day, and that's it. And he walked off. That was it, man. He walked off. He didn't want to carry on. He didn't want to learn more. He didn't want to ask more. He took what he needed. And he said, I don't want to know anything else. And he left. So when he left, the Prophet ﷺ said, do you want to meet a man of Jannah? If you want to meet a man of Jannah, there he is. If that man stays true to what he just said, he is going Jannah. Islam is easy. We make it difficult. So my journey started, like I said, I was always spiritual. I used to go Bible school. I used to go Sunday church. I used to go debates. I enjoyed that a lot. I was starting to study IT for a while. Optometry, sorry. I was in optometry at the time. And University of Houston. And I remember I met some guys who met me in a party or a street party. It was like a street party. Yeah, it was a big street party in Houston. And I was there with some people. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, introduced me," and I felt a bit awkward. I didn't recognize. It was not my crowd. It was Muslims. Okay, there's a lot of Asians. I was mostly around whites, blacks, Hispanics, Mexicans, like that. So that's what I grew up around. And so these Asians I'm around, all of a sudden, they, like I'm nothing special. I'm just there. But to me, it's a brand new crowd. And this guy goes to me, he goes, "Where are you from? Where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Sugarland." He goes, No, originally. And I said, "Oh, I'm from Afghanistan. My roots go back to Afghanistan." And he goes, "MashaAllah." And first, two things. First thing was, "What was that you said?" And he said, "MashaAllah." Could you imagine being a Muslim and never hearing the word MashaAllah? So I had never heard that word before. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, "It means God has willed it." And I said, "Why are you saying it?" He goes, "Well, so it's if we pray something good, we don't want to jinx it or give it bad luck. So we say MashaAllah or give it nazar." And I said, "Okay, so what's so good about being Afghan or Afghani? What was the big deal? I know a lot of Afghans, etc." He didn't know very many, but he was a historian. He loved history and he loved Afghans. He loved the Afghan history. And it just so happened I was Afghan, and the conversation started. And he started telling me about my roots, and I was like, "Well, I know that. And then that got me hanging out with him more and other people more. And then there was a road trip, and this is all within a couple of months. And I'm slowly just making time because I'm really busy. I'm making a lot of money at the time. I'm busy with business. So I thought, okay, I'll hang out with these guys. So there's a weekend trip they're making. They're going up north to Chicago, a bunch of guys. And I'm like, road trip. So I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And they're like, it costs a couple $100. I was like, no problem. Let's go. I hop in, I meet them. And I was with the grouchiest bunch of guys I had ever met in my life.
What, worse than us?
Like, huh?
Worse than us?
Yeah.
Look like decent.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah. Worse than you. So it was listen. So it was just horrible. So these guys are so grouchy, but there's one guy, really sweet kid, sat behind me in the car, and he was reading a mushaf. He was reading the Quran, and that was strange for me. I hadn't seen that before. And then another one was doing something else, or cracking jokes, and this is a long road journey. The eldest one in the car I found him to be arrogant. Now him and I are really close. I really love this guy. But I thought, what a cocky, cheeky, he's older than me, but I just thought he was a bit arrogant, rude, cold. I was like, oh, this is going to be horrible. And we drove from Houston to Chicago. I was a long drive with people you're not comfortable with. So we get to Chicago. I'm talking about, he's like, "Jalal, why do you keep kicking my chair?" That's the kind of comment I got all the way up there, right? It was really not comfortable. We get there, and obviously I've never been with these guys before, and I'm thinking maybe I made a mistake coming here. It's not my scene. But when I got there, what happened was we get to the hotel, we park up, we're walking into this massive hotel in Chicago, and as we're about to walk in, these guys, I guess they think because I'm just tagging along, and I didn't know better that when you chip in, you get your fair share. Me, I'm thinking I'm a guest. Afghans are like that. We're silly. We get taken advantage of everywhere we go. So these guys, when I think back to it, they all took the beds, they took the best parts, and I'm like, where the hell do I sit? Forget about sleeping or laying down. Where do I sit? I didn't even want to be rude. I didn't even ask. So I left the room. I never went to the hotel room. I used to love to travel a lot when I was doing the Bible thing. I used to travel across the country. I used to spend time with Native Indians. I used to hike a lot. I used to hop on the Greyhound bus just to meet strangers on the road. So I liked meeting strangers and just talking about God and spirituality. So when I went on this trip, I just hung out in the lobby. I went to the hotel lobby. When I got to the lobby, I saw the weirdest thing in the world. I'm an American kid, grew up in American, Afghan kid, and grew up in America. And I'm in Chicago. I'm in this hotel. And I come to the lobby, and it looks like I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm talking, it's just bearded guys and big hijab jilbabs and the niqabs. And I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, unless I was back in Afghanistan when I was a little boy. But in America, I hadn't seen that before. So I was like, whoa, where am I? And I see this older guy, and I'll never forget this scene. This guy's got a beard down to his tummy, a really big beard. And he's like bent over like this. And he's talking to a woman, but he's keeping his face away from her so he doesn't look at her. And he's just listening to her, but he's talking like that. And I just thought, wow, what's going on? I didn't even know that had anything to do with hijab and haya. I thought it was cultural dress, things I didn't know. It was basically the road trip was an Islamic conference those guys were going to, and they chose not to tell me. They just said road trip. So I went on this road trip with them. I show up at this hotel, and the main 5 hotels of the city underground are connected with massive conference halls. They were all booked out, and I think at the time it was Maya and Mina, Muslim Youth of North America, Muslim Arab Youth of America, Muslim Youth of North America. Those 2 organizations of different parts of the country came together and created this gigantic conference that had all kinds of speakers there, etc. And they had a huge bazaar, which is where I spent most of my time there. And that was the beginning. That changed everything for me. That was it. I didn't know much, but I saw that and I thought, this feels like home. It was really strange. And then I started reading. The thing that triggered it, that I thought, okay, this is for me, was a debate. There was a debate between Christians that I always used to engage in, and I used to enjoy that a lot. But then there was a debate with the Muslim ones, and it was the same time. In this debate, downstairs in the lobby is with a Muslim and a Christian. Now, I've done loads of debates. So now this is about Bible versus Quran. I'd never seen that before. They were arguing, and the Christian was lying. And he was lying about the Bible. He was misrepresenting it. And I didn't mean to stand up for the Muslim, but because I argued the Bible quite a lot. So I kind of jumped in and said, no, that's not what it actually says. And that's not how it's interpreted. And we started talking, and we went back and forth. And the Muslims were looking at me like, who is this guy? And next thing I know, they're expecting me to now quote verses on hadith. And I was like, I don't know anything. I just know the Bible. And that blew them away, because they saw me as a brown skinned person who knows Islam. They thought I knew Islam, and they expected me to now debate the guy. And I was like, no, I'm only talking about the Bible. And they're like, what? And I was like, that's it. I just know the Bible. And they just couldn't understand it. So that's the time I decided I was going to take these debates on, because I found a lot of people not telling the truth. And I stumbled onto Ahmadidat, and I started watching his lectures. And I was so blessed and fortunate enough that a couple of years later, he was in Houston, and I got to meet him. So I got to meet Sheikh Ahmadidat, rahimallah, in my lifetime before, obviously, he got sick and then he passed away. So when that's when that really was the debate culture back then. And internet was black and white back then. We're talking IRC, Internet Relay Chat. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's where it started. So it was an internet relay chat, me meeting Muslims around the world and having online debates and discussions about things. And from there, I became a hermit. I started learning about the Day of Judgment. I started learning about the fire. I started learning about paradise and hell. And the thing that hit me the most, and this is the guidance moment, okay? This is when I said, this is the rest of my life. The guidance moment was, I debated the Bible because I had issues with inability for anyone to authenticate or reject any facts. So I was always debating the opposite side. So, even if I didn't agree, I debated the opposite side because I could. I was making a point that you can't prove what you're saying. No matter what you said on this side or that side, you can't prove it. So if you're on this side, I'm going to get on that side, because ultimately it's just a debate. You cannot win. And when it came to Islam, and I started studying this, and I started studying my roots, and I started studying what Islam was about, that's when I realized that, hang on, you can actually authenticate what was said. You can verify what was said. You can reject what is said now. You can correct, and you can expunge the origin. You can look at the origin. You can reflect things back on what was actually said to deduce context. And that for me was it. That I always knew, if there is a God, he's going to send us a book. And since he sent us truth and prophets, it makes sense that there should be truth out there. And all my life, It was different versions of the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, Tanakh, Tevrat, etc., and the Torah. And I found that you just couldn't win any argument. Nobody could. And with Islam, you can win. There's always one right. And there's always one right and there's always one wrong. And that's what made me realize this is from Allah. This is what was meant all along. And from there, it goes on to many other stories, loads of stories on the road, traveling, meeting shuyukh, meeting du'at, reading. I went into a hibernation for about 4 years. I lost a lot of money. I just could not bring myself out the house because I was petrified of hellfire. Like I literally thought I'm going to die tomorrow and I'm going to go burn in hell. And it wasn't fear of being punished. It was love of Allah, but only thinking of hell. It was weird. It was, I love my Lord. I've always thought of you. Since I was 12, I was spiritual. I was doing some strange things, trying to get closer to you. And now you've always been there. And all of these things started to make sense. All these events in my life started to make sense. Some horrible events that I would never share with anyone. Some horrible things happened in my life that I just would never talk about. But when I think back to those horrible things, he was always there. He was always involved. And there was a reason for it. There was a system, which I would never have thought that those things that happened in my life would have a purpose. I would never have thought that. But learning hadith and ayat and stories and seerah and tafsir, I've realized that he was always there. And that just made it stronger for me and stronger and stronger.
SubhanAllah.
And before I knew it, I just wanted to, if you know one ayah, teach it. So I started literally with one ayah. It was Surah Al-Asr. It was one surah. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. It started with that surah and that was it. And then I'll tell you one more. The final bit that made me decide I was going to change my whole life. I was going to do nothing of that dunya side anymore. I disconnected from all my friends, all my colleagues. I created a whole new atmosphere around me. Was when I went to a lecture and I was very upset, very emotional. I was in a lot of hardship and a very painful time for me with people I knew that I had to make massive sacrifices. And I went to this lecture. And I think officially, probably my first real lecture I ever attended was a hall in a mosque. They had a speaker from Saudi, probably somewhere. And one of my friends, who was a white guy named Joe Bradford, he was a revert and he studied in Medina. So his Arabic was fluent. He was sitting next to the sheikh and translating in English. So line for line. When he spoke in Arabic, he translated. And it was tafsir of Surah Fatiha. And when I learned the tafsir, I sat there and I took notes. I took notes better than any classroom I had ever attended in my life. I so attentively wrote everything that I was the only one in that entire hall crying like a baby to Surah Fatiha. And I just found that tafsir, the explanation he gave was subhanallah. And that was my first ever lecture. So for ages, I was debating and arguing and helping people where I could, etc. But then when I came to the UK, some people asked me to give a lecture in a house with their families. And they said, oh, can you just say a few words because you're really good? I was like, no, I debate. It's different. Debate's not a lecture. Debate's correcting situations or misunderstandings. And I said, well, hold on, I've got these notes. So I pulled out Surah Fatiha notes that I had taken years ago from that lecture. And even though years had gone by, I had studied loads of books, but my first lecture ever, I went back to the first lecture I ever listened to and took notes. And I gave that lecture again. And that began my dawah tour. I decided, okay, now it's time to share what I've learned. And Al-Fitra was launched. And that was the year 2000. That was the year 2000. That was the year 2000. And I think that since then, so many things happened since then, but going back, I realized that this is the life I wanted. So IT became part of me. IT is another part of this. I learned IT so that I could research the books I needed, the information I needed, so I could do the debates I was involved in. So I spent about 3-4 years locked away in my room, and my parents very worried that all I wanted to do was read and study. And that was the time I really listened to people. I read books. I read books, listened to lectures, attended seminars. I don't know if you know the names. I'm going to mention people like Jamal Zarabozo. We're going back to Ali Tamimi days. We're going back to Walid al-Basuni, who's still around, mashallah, tabarakallah, Sheikh al-Rashad. We're going back to those days, subhanAllah. So we're old school. And they were different. There was different type of lessons back then, different type of teachings. So then I was just not, after studying at home, I started going to check my knowledge, went to Medina for a while, went to Mecca for a while, went to Jeddah for a while. And then I traveled to Doha and Qatar, and then I spent some time in Canada, and then I was back in the States as well. I traveled all over the States. I took some time where I literally traveled like nearly, I think probably about 7,000 miles in less than a week. So it was just non-stop travel. I met the strangest people. I watched miracles of Allah. I watched we can't call them miracles because only prophets get miracles, but karama, unexplainable things, you know? So yeah, I mean, I could carry on and on and on. My situation, I mean, I'm tiptoeing around things as well, but it's an interesting journey.
Brother Kashif, that's exactly what I was saying before about the traditional way of learning and the tarbiyah, isn't it? Nowadays, it's more commercialized. You get in a course, you do 5 years, you get graduated by a certificate, and that's it, you're done. But this is where it's so easy today. But like what Sheikh's journey to me is traveling the world and learning from different shuyukh to get that knowledge. You have to go and seek the knowledge. Nowadays, knowledge comes to us. Like for me, talking about myself, if someone was to tell me about what's my journey of learning Islam, what I'm still learning is very simple. Went to the Sheikh, learned from him for 3 years, the Qira, then done my hibs, then went to this Alimiyah course, done 8 years, done, and still learning. But this is what I was talking about. It's all, I won't say commercialized, mashallah, they're doing brilliant work out there, but the time of traveling the world and sitting with different shuyukh, subhanallah, like going to Medina, Jeddah, Doha, like you've done, Sheikh. I mean, this we don't really see nowadays.
No, you don't see it, but it's happening. I mean, Qari, Asif Ayub, good family friends, all the whole family.
He's been to my house as well, mashallah.
He's yeah, I knew them when they were little, man. They were young, and their dad decided he was taking them to Egypt. I remember that. And when they went to Egypt, and now, mashallah, look at them, man. He's world-renowned Qari. I'm sending my son Abdullah with him soon, inshallah. I was talking about it yesterday. Cooper Addison says, alaikum, salam alaikum, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Beautiful story. Now you and me both know, mashallah, mashallah. Sorry. Oh, now you and me both know, mashallah, mashallah. One of the first words I heard was alhamdulillah. It was a proper tongue twister. Alhamdulillah, la, 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 la. Yeah. Yeah,
I've got a couple of questions on Instagram.
Kaka Ali and Saqib Shahid, welcome, buddy. Kaka Ali, salam alaikum. Is this the Kaka Ali? You know, in my language, that means Uncle Ali, in case you didn't know. What question do we got? How old are you, Sheikh? None of your business.
Are you, and the one above it, are you from Afghan?
Yeah, Afzal Jan, I am Afghani, and my age, I'm older than you, probably.
Good answer.
And you know what? In all honesty, I'm Afghan, and you never ask an Afghan how old he is. Do you know why?
Well, they don't know themselves.
Yeah, we don't know how old we are. We do not know our date of birth. I just check Afghans anywhere random, taxi driver, whoever. Ask them what's your date of birth. Majority will say January 1st.
Subhanallah. Sheikh, that was one of your posts as well a couple of months ago.
What's that?
I think you posted something on Facebook like that. Why all Afghans' date of birth is the 1st of January.
Well, Afghans have had a really rough ride for the past 40 years. So since 1979, Afghans have had a rough ride, and most of our documents, everything have been burnt, destroyed. So you've got a lot of people who are you got a lot of people who don't know when they were born, etc. Houses, properties, documents burnt, destroyed, can't prove who owns what. It's a lot of haram going on, and it's unfortunate what the country's gone through. So a lot of Afghans don't know when they were born because the calendar is different. It's not a Gregorian calendar, and it's not a lunar calendar. It's a Zoroastrian or a Persian solar calendar. So it's a third completely different type. So to pick the month, the date, and convert it and translate it, and then go back 10 years, and every year it changes a few days, you'd need to know the exact precise time you were born. And then on top of that, those documents of date of births and stuff are all destroyed anyway. So for me, I have no way of
Do you speak Pushto? You've been asked.
Yeah, I speak Pakhto.
What languages do you speak? How many languages?
Pakhto mizdade. I can speak Pakhto. Farsi bishar balad hastam. I can speak to you in Farsi as well. You habla muy poco español. I can speak to you in Spanish if you like. I speak أنا أتكلم عربية شوية, and I can speak to you in English. And मेरी उर्दू भी आता है एक जरा थोड़ा से.
Oh, mashallah.
Don't forget Australian, American, Scottish.
Oh, I can speak Australian. That's not a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's not a knife. American English. I can do country. I can do hit country. Yeah. Because over in Sugarland, where my parents stay, sometimes we encounter some of the folks that come out from the farms, and they usually do wear their hats. Let me just show you guys what I'm talking about, so you can understand.
You gotta slur your language,
so you understand where I'm from. I'm just trying to I just want to make it clear. Yeah, I ain't got a hay stick with me, bro.
A hay stick.
Yeah, I ain't got a hay stick with me, man. If I had a hay stick, I'd do that for you, but no. Kaka Ali, welcome. Abdul Qadir Allana, welcome. Shakil Suleiman, welcome. All of you, welcome, mashallah. What else we got? YouTube. Let me check out what's going on YouTube. Jamal John, salam alaikum. Lala from Houston. My brother's watching. Who else have we got? Jam. We all learning something every day. Alhamdulillah. My pleasure, Jam. Thank you for tuning in. I think most people are gone knocked out. Most people are asleep. We don't have very
many. Out of just another question. Out of all the Islamic sciences, we've got the Hadith, we've got the Fiqh, we've got the Tafsir, we've got the Seerah. Which the Arabic as well, which is very important. Which one did you find the hardest? I got Sheikh thinking this time. Awkward silence.
I actually don't know. I think the hardest thing in studying, Tajweed was pretty easy to me. Everything was pretty easy, actually. I find it all quite easy. I didn't find it difficult, alhamdulillah.
Oh, mashallah.
I've never found it difficult. I mean, there are a couple of things I couldn't tell you, but if I did, you'd be pretty surprised. You'd be pretty shocked in terms of studying. But yeah, some things are best not said. But I can tell you that I've not found it difficult, alhamdulillah. I have had scholars tell me things like, qadr wa qada, how about that? There's a subject to take an example. So you understand qadr wa qada?
Very sensitive topic. It's very hard to get the hand around it.
I remember a group of scholars debating it in Jimas about 12 years ago. And I understood it and I explained it. And the Sheikh just said to me, he said, Jalal, qadr wa qada is something you either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, you need to accept that you don't get it and don't try to get it. Because if you do, you will harm yourself and confuse yourself. And I just said, I get it. I've always got it. And I think I was the only one there that year that said that. I said, I get it. I actually do. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying I actually understand what qadr wa qada is. It makes sense. And that's pretty much how Islam has always been to me. It just makes sense. It made sense before I even knew the religion. I just wish people gave it that chance, that if they just gave it that chance to think, okay, I can do something with this, I can consider something different. And that's where when it comes to dawah, I've always been blessed. I'm very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've always been able to answer questions that other people can't answer. If you know any questions, please feel free to throw them at me. Questions that others cannot answer. I've always enjoyed those things because
got one on Instagram.
Sorry?
You got one on Instagram. A little.
See, I heard a hadith ages ago about the end of time, that there would come a time when there would be so much peace that a baby would put his hand in the mouth of a lion and the lion will not bite. Yes, that is, I don't know if that hadith is authentic, but that is true. That the animals will no longer attack humans and you'll be safe with the lions. The Christians have a similar story about this end of times. I'm not sure if this is from Ahl al-Kitab or Hadith though. That I don't know. Because many of these stories come from Ahl al-Kitab and they're not negated or rejected because there's nothing in Islam that says the opposite. I do know there is a hadith about the end of times when the Prophet ﷺ said that animals and people will walk side by side. I just have to find the exact wording though. Allah knows best. I would
also
like
had someone said they would like to listen. Can you please save this? It's 5 a.m. in Belgium apparently.
So what's she saying?
She's saying, can you make sure you save this so they can watch it later?
All right, okay, sure. I've been more than happy to save it. I'll try to remember. Cash, remind me, okay? Because as soon as Instagram ends, it's gonna just delete it. So you gotta.
No, you gotta save it as for 24 hours. It'll stay up. So you save it as a story. And you download it as well if you want to.
Yeah, but it has an hour and a 1 hour max, doesn't it?
Oh.
Instagram has an hour max, so in 1 hour.
Then it's on YouTube, isn't it? So you watch it on YouTube.
So
Layla, watch it on YouTube.
YouTube.com/Al-Fitra. That's where it'll be.
Chad, it's just amazing. It's so inspirational what you've just shared with us. As for me, I've always known you from Islam Channel or Ramadan. Ramadan really is when I got to know you, Sheikh, on TV. And we always use. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to sit down. With that disrespect, I would like, oh, brother Jalal's going to be on now. Just watch how much money he's going to get tonight. I mean, this was something very interesting. And I remember you were with brother Jawad as well, if I remember correctly. You were, I think, fundraising with brother Jawad, and we used to sit down. And I remember when I first got to know my wife, this is what we were talking about during that. What are you doing? I'm watching brother Jalal on Islam Channel. MashaAllah, after 6 years of marriage, brother Jalal is actually in our house. And it's such an honor. I mean, subhanAllah. So the connection was there all the way through. And we always known you for dawah, mashallah. And that's the only way I knew. When we speak about Sheikh Jalal, we know about, the dawah man. I mean, not the dawah man as in who's been titled as a dawah man, but as in this is the guy on Islam Channel, mashallah. And you used to do that Ramadan show as well.
Or befriending Ramadan. I still do that.
Yeah.
I do that on Iqra TV now at 2:30 p.m. every day, UK time. 2:30 p.m. UK time on Sky 742, or you can go to iqra.tv. So I'm daily doing that there, and I'm also doing something on Australian website TV, something like that. I don't know what that is.
Can I just share this with all the viewers as well, right? So
okay.
For all the viewers, so when I knew,
can I just stop you for a second? There's a couple of questions first because we've ignored these people quite a bit. Cooper Addison, I'll come to you in just a second. Muhammad Malik has said, I had a question. What is your opinion and the Islamic opinion on out-of-body experience? I mean, what is stated in Islam about out-of-body experience? And Jam wants to know, what is our opinion of Milad al-Nabi? Okay, we'll come to that. So the first one is, what is our opinion of out-of-body experience? Is there anything in Islam about it? Yes. Every night you go to sleep, you leave your body. Every single night you go to sleep, you leave your body. Your soul floats away, connected to your body somehow, but your soul floats away, and there is a place in between this life and the next, and it is called al-barzakh. And barzakh actually means somewhere in between. So it's there, this place. And in barzakh, their souls can mingle, you can see things happen. Some people like to interpret dreams. I personally advise people don't interpret dreams. Don't ask for dream interpretation. Instead, I say to people, in your heart, you know what your dream meant better than any scholar can tell you, because your dream will tell you a message of what you understand. However, when you find a learned person, as Irfan and I asked Sheikh Salim the other day, they do give you a slightly different perspective on it, or someone you really love and trust and you think would understand your dream. And scary dreams are all from shaitan anyway, but dreams are when you go to barzakh. So if you have a scary dream, shaitan is actually toying with your soul, because your soul floats away from this life. You actually leave your body, but you don't die. Some people go to sleep, their soul drifts away to barzakh, and the connection, the Wi-Fi signal disconnects. When it disconnects, they die. And their soul never returns to the body. The person never wakes up from their sleep. Or sometimes someone's heart will stop and the soul disconnects. But there's a very faint connection somehow that the soul reconnects and comes back. So they say, I had an out-of-body experience. It's very possible. My uncle, rahimahullah, he passed away. But about 8-9 years before he passed away, he had a heart attack. And the ambulance was taking him to the hospital. And on the way, he told me, he described the officers and the police and the road they took and the ambulance, because he had left his body and he was looking down at himself and at the cars as they were driving. And he told them which way they may have gone. And the police officers acknowledged the things they did, that he was watching them. Allah knows best. These are just strange stories people tell. Does it matter if it's true or not? No. Does it matter if it's a lie? Not really. Does it matter if it's true even? No. Is it, oh, it's true, so what? He's a prophet of God? No, it doesn't matter. The dreams are a sign for you. That's it. A good sign and a bad sign. But those are out-of-body experiences. Outside of that, I don't have any other evidence, except for some of the Sufis. They say they make dhikr, they close their eyes and they float away. I don't know. Some people smoke a thing or two, and while they're smoking, they kind of float away as well. So those things I really don't know. So I would say Islamically, there's sleep and death. Those are your two outer body experiences, and Allah knows best. The second question was, what's your views on Milad al-Nabi? Because about 5-10 years, I never heard about the Milad. I'm confused about that one. What do you mean 5-10 years you've never heard about the Milad? Only asked because I always have a lucid dream where I am with my father who passed away 8 years ago. It feels I'm actually with him. Okay, Brother Muhammad, may Allah Azza wa Jal forgive your father, grant him Jannati Firdaus and make things easy for you. But beware, because shaitan can take the form of people in your dream. So beware and be careful. But I have had dreams of my beloved grandmother many times. And I like to think that they're just signs that she's doing well. That's all. And whenever I have a dream of her or my uncle or one of my aunts, then I go and do a sacrifice and do something in their name and give some sadaqah in their name or something for them. So if it's your father, I don't know what kind of dream you do have, but if he's in a good place, then that means you are a sadaqah jariyah for him anyway. So you may be benefiting him, inshallah. Allah knows best, Habibi. That's a tough one. If you're dreaming of your dad, my God, you know, I love my dad a lot, so I understand. I've always seen Brother Jalal in Islam channel, but I still bet the Brother Jalal don't know who I am. The guy who made dua for your auntie. Oh, Jamil. Muhammad Jamil, that's who that is. That's why you're asking about Milad Nabi. All right, we'll come back to that. Qari Irfan, you had something else you wanted to say. Hang on, let me just check this one as well. Cooper, I remember taking my shahada with you, brother. That was live on Islam channel, wasn't it? I was live on Islam channel and you called in and I was like, hey, listen, man, why don't you just become Muslim? And you took your shahada.
Subhanallah.
I've had so many people take shahada at lectures and conferences. How do you think that happens? People walk up to you and say, I want to take shahada? Sometimes. But most of the time, people are too shy to even say hi to you, much less come to you and say, I want to be Muslim. I want to change my religion. So what Muslims are very shy about, and they should not be, is always ask a non-Muslim, hey, by any chance, did you want to be Muslim after I explained everything? And they will say yes or no. If they say no, alhamdulillah, okay, let me know when you want to. But you always ask them to break that barrier, because every time I've given a lecture, I've said, does anyone today want to embrace Islam? And 3-4 people always put their hand up. Had I not asked, they wouldn't have done that, and they wouldn't take shahada. My favorite one. No, okay, just a minute. Yeah, okay. There was my favorite one was in the University of Essex, and it was a comparative religion one. And at the end of it, I said, "Who wants to?" There was a lot of questions, debates, some atheists in the room. Atheists are some of my favorite questions. And in that, I said, "Does anyone want to take shahada?" Three people put their hand up, and I said, "Repeat after me." And the atheists were like, "Oh no!" And a couple of the Christians were like, "Oh no!" Like, what's going on? Like, confused. And then one lady was like nudging the other. And I thought they were mocking me or something. She was nudging the lady. And I was like, why is she doing that? And then both of them came to me afterwards. And I said, when they're asking questions, I answered. And I said, why did you nudge her? She goes, because I know she wants to be Muslim, but I don't know why she didn't do it. She should have taken her shahada. These are two non-Muslim women, both studying Islam. One of them knew her friend so well, saying, I know you're Muslim at heart. Why don't you just take shahada? So a non-Muslim was pushing another non-Muslim to take shahada. And she did. She took shahada. And I said, what about you? You're not you deserve guidance as well. She goes, yeah, well, pray for me. Let's see. So she didn't take her shahada, but she was serious about it.
Next time.
Next time. Cooper says, I dream of my grandmother, but she was a Christian. Yeah, like I said, you have to be careful about these dreams. Yeah, that's right. So Cooper Addison is remembering when we took Shahada live on Islam channel. Let's see, Muhammad Malik. Yes, I always see him smiling. He seems happy, and I donate. Good. Donate tonight as well, inshallah. By the way, is my link up? Can you guys text me on that phone number? I think I raised like 20 pounds tonight. That's not good. I needed to raise at least 500.
Don't forget the auction.
We haven't done the auction. I'm waiting for the
when it arrives.
Yeah.
I'm popping in there, hopefully, inshallah, later on today.
And I put my starting bid on it already. Remember?
Okay, listen. Can you do me a favor? Can you find the online pictures of it? Send it to me.
Yeah, I'll take a nice picture, send it to you. Then we'll get you.
Okay, so Jamil is asking our opinion on Milad al-Nabi and what's our opinion on peers like Pir Chuf Chuf. Okay.
Oh, Sheikh, I would like to add to that as well because I grew up from a very Sufi, Barelvi, or peer-orientated family as well. I studied a lot about them.
Are your family still involved in that?
No, they've actually disconnected from that now, alhamdulillah. After some, I would say some experiences, some life experiences that we've had, and that's when eyes opened.
MashaAllah.
So I'll let you answer the question first, and then I'll add to it, inshallah. Because I remember there was a time where I used to be from the Barelvi sect, debating and refuting the one which were not. And that apparently now been blamed for changing sides. So it's a very interesting aspect for me.
Well, first and foremost is Instagram's about to cut, by the way, so I think I won't renew the Instagram. We'll just carry on here. The thing is that I had my time with Christians and others, and I can tell you, if sorry, what, Irfan, were you saying?
No, I'm just saying that there was a time where I used to be on the opposite side, and I've been blamed to be again on the opposite side.
Well, what I was going to say was, the thing is, I'm just going to be brief. Christians had this concept of sainthood and Catholics. So what's the difference if you have a Pir Sahib? You may as well be a Catholic. It's like, it's what are you doing? It's the same thing of a saint or worshiping an idol. You're worshiping a man. So, no. In the Bible, book of Jeremiah, Allah told the children of Israel the same thing. And Allah tells us in Surah Baqarah the same thing. Do not make your rabbis your priests. Your gods. Don't take your rabbis, your priests as your gods. So Pir Sahibs are no such thing. Instagram, have a great night. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Do you like that? That was a quick one for Instagram. Let me just Let me
I'm
just
so happy
call it.
Instagram's finished because my phone is literally on percentage. About to die.
Reflections. Sorry, say that again.
My phone literally just on like the last percent, and it's so hot right now. Woo.
Okay, so yeah, Qari Ayub Asif just messaged me, mashallah, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Okay, so yeah, avoid peer sibes, man. Avoid these scholars, these peer sibes, because peer chufs are gonna mess you up, man. They are not good. They are not good. They're not good. May Allah guide them, may Allah correct them, and everyone who follows them should know better. You're grown people, you should know better. All the badnami, all the bad reputation of Islam in every aspect of, they want money, they're after this, they're child molesters, they're child abusers, they're this, they're that. Every bad name like that against bearded religious Maulvis or Imams in the past were done by Pir Sahibs. You know, so there was always those kind of people that exploited religion because they had hypocrisy. Because you have to realize, a magician is a liar. A magician tricks you to think the coin just came out of this hand or came out of your ear. He tricks you. That's his trick. That's what he does. So he wants to play you. But the magician knows he's full of crap, right? He knows he's lying. So when he does that little trick and he pulls a coin out of your ear, he knows it was trapped behind his fingers and thumbs and stuff. He knows the trick, right? So the liar knows he's lying. So when you have someone lying about Islam, he knows he's lying. You have different sects and groups out there. The liars of those sects, like for example, someone will say, what about the Shia, the Sunni split, etc.? Fine. According to Islam, the people are just sinners, they're misguided, they're deviants, but they're Muslims. But their scholars are kuffar. Because the scholar who knows and misguides people is gone, is not in the fold of Islam, because his intention isn't there. It depends on who we're talking about, of course. I'm just making a point. So don't follow these pir sahibs, stay away from them. And if you hear of them, they're a joke, you can laugh about them. Now, if someone is a real pir, when we say pir, we mean someone who is older, someone who's loved by God. You wouldn't know anyway, because those that Allah loves, He hides them. He keeps them a secret. So you wouldn't know who that person was. And the person wouldn't be trying to get people to do things. Anyways, number 3, Islam came to destroy idols. And pir chuf chuf blows on things and gives you an amulet. It takes you back to idols. It makes no sense. It's like the people of Musa in the mountain. They started worshiping the calf. When he went away for 40 days, they started worshiping a golden calf. So Allah gave us tawheed, and as soon as the Prophet ﷺ is gone, we started doing bid'ah and changing it right away. So Allah knows best. Milad al-Nabi, the Prophet ﷺ's birthday, I can just say I love Rasulullah more than I love myself, and I obey him. And he did not tell me to celebrate his birthday. And in fact, he told me, do not turn my life into the life of Jesus Christ and others, in the sense of what people have done with their tombs of prophets. He said, do not do that to me. So Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was very clear about his instructions. So Milad al-Nabi, if you're going to celebrate his birth by fasting, or you're going to celebrate his death by fasting, he was born on a Monday and he died on a Monday. So which are you celebrating? And where do you draw the line? A couple of years ago, I saw a video of some Indian villagers, very lovely people, very sweet old man. Must have been the oldest man in the village or something. And I don't understand how in the heck they could afford this, but they made a 5-tier gigantic cake. It looked like it was a poor village, man. How in the heck they made that, I don't know. Gigantic cake that here probably cost us about $5,000 or $4,000 to make. You know that? Well, to get a company to make it anyway. Gorgeous wedding looking cake, huge one. And they all were singing, happy birthday, Ya Rasulullah, happy birthday, Ya Rasulullah, while cutting the cake.
I was just about to say, like, there's people out there, like, they don't, not like, as long as they're not cutting a cake, but if they're fasting and remembering.
Dude, I can show you the videos on YouTube right now, man.
But then that's a bit.
I've seen that video.
I've heard of this video. I haven't seen it, but that's just a bit. Yeah, there's remembering, and then there's fasting, and then there's, you know. But
what I meant by the cake video, I gave that extreme example because I said you can fast, you can pray, you can remember, but where do you draw the line? Once you start something, someone else is going to cut a cake.
Well, like, I'll tell you what Cambridge have done in our families is that they just there's normally a talk about the life
Yeah. Most mosques do
That's
that.
what
They
it
have
is.
a-
There's normally a talk and a remembrance. There's no one sitting there holding hands and singing happy
But we
birthday.
don't even know what his birthday is, though. They make out it's the 12th of Rabi al-Awwal, but there's no a sound authentic proof for that. I mean, they say it is a difference of opinion, but there's a vast majority of opinions say that's not the correct date. But what they say is, even if it is the correct date, if that is it, did the Sahaba do it? That's what I'm saying. And the birth of Jesus was celebrated a certain way. We're just making it mild. We're just saying we're not going to do all the extras, but we're just going to make dhikr. I'll give you an example. If the Prophet ﷺ had his birthday celebrated by the Sahaba, and so they celebrated the Prophet's birthday after he was gone, if they did that, ﷺ, then he would have put clear rules that you start like this, you finish like that, and you do this much, and you don't excess, and etc. We have no rules, none. That's why I disagree with even coming together to give a lecture. I disagree with it completely. Come together on any other day except this day, because this day leads old men in some village who don't know better to cut a cake and sing happy birthday. Whenever you make a bid'ah, it leads to that. Okay, let me give you one perfect example. This is the example. Anyone who's Muslim upon Tawheed, this example answers all their questions. Ibrahim alayhi salam is the father of Tawheed. His test was ultimate. He has the highest station because of his test. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he is the father of Tawheed. And it took nearly 1,000 years of Tawheed in the people of Bakka, in the valley of Bakka, in the place of Arabia, from Ismail alayhi salam, where the whole known religious world forgot about him altogether. Because everything was known through Ishaq alayhi salam, Yaqub alayhi salam, Yusuf alayhi salam, etc. Shu'aib and Dhul Kifli, etc., all the way to Musa and then Isa ibn Maryam. So that lineage was all that was known in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's realm with guidance, Jabreel alayhi salam, etc. So a good 2,000 years of this, and the Meccans had 365 gods or more, 360 plus idols in the Kaaba. So it took 2,000 years, and it started with Tawheed. Ibrahim, Hajar, Ismail. They began the Kaaba, alayhi salam, and they began the Hajj, and they began the Tawheed, and they taught their villagers, and everyone was super pious and religious. Ibrahim got old, passed away. Ismail got old, passed away. Their children carried on, Tawheed carried on. And one day Shaitan said to one of them, why don't you pick this rock up and take it home? Because you know, you're always away. You're kind of far from here. This rock will remind you to come back for Fajr, or come back for whatever. They didn't have Fajr, but you know what I mean. It'll give you a spiritual connection to remember the Kaaba. And the next one was the next, and the next, and the next. Well, why don't you do this? It's good luck, bad luck, etc. And before you know it, what happened? They had idols in the Kaaba. It's one bid'ah at a time with a good intention that leads to such evil shirk 2,000 years later. So what will happen in time could be 100 times worse, which is what's happening. Milad al-Nabi started about roughly about the 2nd century, or 120, 130 years after 80 years, I think. It started 80 years to 120 years after the Prophet ﷺ. So from then till now, that's 1,500 years. So it took 1,500 years for someone to cut a cake and sing Happy Birthday, Ya Rasulullah. That's just one example. Lots of other weird things happen as well. Dancing, screaming, crying, lights everywhere, etc. All for the birthday of the Prophet. The Sikhs and the Hindus, they have this parade they do with their idols on a carriage. So the Muslims now started doing their own thing. They started doing the same parade to imitate them. Huh?
Well, the Jalus.
Whatever, man. I don't want to say. You know what I'm talking about. So we imitate others. So those are the reasons why the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever imitates a people is from them. So for those who start it, we just need to be careful, because that can really misguide us. That can really you just don't know where it's going, even though it's a beautiful thing. Come together. My masjid down the road does it. They come together and they do a lecture, a talk, a bayan. They remember, they make some dhikr, they make dua, they go home. It's beautiful. But it's just unfortunate that it's for the purpose of Milad al-Nabi, because there's no evidence for it. So let me put it to you like this. Islam is always about play it safe. Leave that which you doubt for that which you do not doubt. If I do not celebrate Milad al-Nabi, will I go to hell? No. If I celebrate Milad al-Nabi and I'm wrong, could that harm me on the Day of Judgment? Yes. That's how you got to look at being on the safe side. Allah knows best. I pray Allah guide us all. Maulana Chufchufs is the same thing, man. It's like Taweez and magic and white magic and black. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. And I don't need to be, by the way, some people say, oh, you're a Wahhabi Salafi. No, 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 no. I don't need to be Wahhabi Salafi to tell you the truth. I really don't. And that's my advice to you, Brother Jamil. Just take care. By the way, can I also add, do not offend anyone. Look how softly and carefully I'm speaking about this. People believe in this stuff and they love these things. So do not offend them. Tell them as nicely as you can or keep quiet. I don't believe in offending people. I don't. It's not right. If the Prophet ﷺ told us don't offend the Christians or the Jews and don't offend pagans and others, don't harm their places of worship, subhanallah, how about to other Muslims? If that makes sense. What was the other question? Shab Bakhair Muhammad Malik, he knocked out. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. Sure, we'll do. I visited one guy, he legit asked me to pay him. Like said, you got to take care of your peer brothers. I was like, what? Oh, that's hilarious. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, let me see this last message. You guys can carry on if you like. I think we should wrap it up.
What time is it?
Sheikh, on the concept of Milad al-Nabi, what I've been always advising my students and all the people that ask me about Milad al-Nabi, and that's myself coming from a very Sufi, Barelvi background, grew up in it without a choice. I always said, if you want to celebrate the talk about the concept of Mawlid, and it goes through the linguistics what Mawlid means, which is the time of the birth and the praise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I said, yeah, if you want to do Mawlid, why don't you do every single day of your life and every moment of your life? And why only that specific day of 12th of Rabiul Awal? If you want to talk about the time of the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do it every day, and that is Mawlid. I just wanted to ask you, is that a right way to put it in perspective without offending nobody?
I think your intention is good, but I think that can get lost in translation or understanding in context, because some things you have to be very clear. And when it comes to these things, the answer is not, why don't you? The answer is, did the Sahaba? When it comes to things of actions of worship, you only do what is confirmed from Ijma' al-Sahaba. When it comes to fiqh of haram, halal, you go back to the Sahaba, see what they say. If they didn't say anything, then you ask the shuyukh in history. If they didn't say anything, you ask a scholar of today. So fiqh issues you can check, you can go moving on with. But when it comes to things of aqidah and ibadah, getting close to Allah, it has to be approved by the Sahaba. Has to be done by the Prophet ﷺ, and it has to be the Sahaba saying yes, meaning they did it also. So the answer is more about, did the Prophet ﷺ do it? Did the Sahaba do it? That kind of thing.
And about the peer, the chuf peers, I always call it the peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Yeah, okay.
I get it. We get it.
Yeah, we get it, man. We get it. Look, you know what I want to say? I want to say about peers and Brelvis. Look, you said a few things today, but I notice how careful I'm being right now. I want you to be just as careful. Don't mock it. In fact, if anything, you should say, when I was a kid, it was thanks to the Brelvis I had Islamic influence around me. But obviously, I learned more as I grew, and I've realized I pray one day they also learn, etc. You have to take it from a positive angle. Don't look down on people because they don't know better, because there are people who don't even know who Allah is yet. And we were those people once upon a time. We did not know Allah. We did not know Quran. We did not know right from wrong. So just be careful, not because mocking people is only a feeding of the self's ego. And that's not why we learn, and that's not why we teach.
Correct.
Allah knows best. So I think with that, let's see. I don't think there were any other comments. Did you read any more? I switched off Instagram, Catch.
Yeah, I know we had to. Let's have a look. Facebook. I don't think there are any on Facebook.
Saeed Sheikh. I think we've kind of put people to sleep. You know that with that calm, soothing voices. I can hear Cash go, yeah, Jalal, here, man. Yeah, it's good, man. That's cautious. Like, yeah.
There's no other comments, I think.
Sorry, say again.
Oh my God! I see the cake for Milad. Someone commented.
Oh, you see?
Did you see the cake?
No, there's someone commented on it. It says, "Oh my God, I see the cake for Milad."
Oh right, yeah. Yeah. We just gotta be careful. Jamil, you gotta be careful too. I see where you're coming from, and I can see you've got a lot of influence around you.
Put it, if things like if you put it into context, I'm going completely side railed here. There's a certain leader around the world who went on a little side rant about infrared rays that can cure coronavirus, and there's some sort of Dettol spray out there. We use a Dettol spray to fix. We can use the contents of the Dettol spray to kill the coronavirus, and the consequence of that was people actually injecting themselves with this content, with this toxic content, and that a certain company, I don't know, it was across the pond somewhere. You might know where they're from, sort of thing. Somewhere that side of the planet, and that company had to put a statement out saying, "Please do not inject yourself with our products. It will only cause you more harm than anything else." So, in that sort of essence, you can do the same thing. What you're talking about, just talking gently and explaining to people in the right way that, this is how it should be done or whatever. But like,
are you saying that when it comes to,
I'm just saying, explaining things in a certain way, some people will take things out of context and go,
sorry, no, but I'm asking, like, the normal bottle, or are you talking about the spray bottle?
I'm talking all bottles.
So when we go see Pir Chuf Chuf, we'll take the spray one.
If a person's hair is flowing in the wind and it looks like it's going to fall off, and they've got a bit of a tan to them, don't listen to them. They're normally talking out of their gluteus maximus.
Oh my God! Or they're doing a handstand
or something else. Exactly. Just, I'm just putting it into different context for the other viewers out there.
Yeah, they're doing a handstand. You're talking to the wrong end.
Exactly.
Yeah, but again, on a serious note, what Sheikh Jalal said, mashallah, may Allah bless them, and the beautiful brothers out there who loves the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I can understand the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's just a bit of, inshallah.
Look, think about it like this, okay? Let me give you an example, okay? Because I come from a Salafi background. I know people kind of look at me, they think I'm really strict or whatever. And I used to be quite strict, and I am still strict. I just behave differently. I think that you can be strict and not be rude. I think that, let me put it to you like this, okay? I forgot. No, I'm joking. I don't know if I should say this, but here, like, I'll put it to you like this, okay? It's like you can either, what was the last thing you just said a minute ago?
I said the beautiful brothers out there.
Yeah, so look, from this perspective, look at it this way, okay? Here's my take on this love of the Prophet ﷺ. It's so important. You have Salafis who will say hadith. If you love the Prophet, you will listen to him. Ati Allah wa ati Rasul in kuntum mu'minin, right? So if you love Allah and you love Rasul, you will obey Allah and obey Rasul, you'll be believers. Now, while that's the case, you'll notice a lot of them, they'll pray their fard, and the sunnah they'll walk away from. And then you have the traditional people who don't know much hadith, but 2 rakah, 4 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah. And then it's 2 rakah, 3 rakah, 4 rakah, 2 rakah, etc. They've got their nawafil, they've got their wird. When they're finished praying, they'll sit there and make their afkar, they'll do a lot short. And I'm just wondering, you know what? I'm just wondering. There's love of Rasulullah through knowledge, and you have the knowledge, but you don't really, adhere with love. It's more just the basics. And then you have people who don't have the knowledge, but they cannot be without the action. If you could only merge the two. And then you have people who love the dalil, but then they implement the love as well. You have both. That's where it's really important. And I find certain Sharia Sufis, there are certain type of Sufis that actually are very strict on Sharia, especially Shafi'is. They have a very strong approach to making sure it's dalil and love of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. I don't agree with some of the hadrat that people do, like, you know, the chanting and screaming. But aside from that, the strong hold of knowledge, dalil, and then implementing. Because love of Rasulullah is everything. What is the point of learning a single hadith if it doesn't make you just think, I wish I was with him. I wish I could hug him. I wish he could hold me. What is the point of even quoting a hadith if it doesn't make you just think, where is he and where are we, and make you cry, make you sad? That's my opinion.
MashaAllah, that's a very good way to put it in perspective, MashaAllah.
With that, Cash, what do you think, man? Should we call it a night?
Call it a day, MashaAllah. It's the start of a new day.
Check the time. It's 5 o'clock or 2 minutes to 5.
Yeah, so let's take a quick break and we'll come back at 5:15.
Yeah, I'll put my substitute in, and he will take my place. He's ready. He's ready to talk. Hold on.
I'm just gonna put this right here.
I'm gonna put these over here like this. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this right here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, check this out. Let me show you.
He's got a hockey stick. He's got a mini hockey stick as well. Look, here we are.
Watch this. Read what's inside.
Like hell,
it's yours.
Read the rest.
This hat belongs to Jalal Muhabbat. Wow.
You think I'm playing?
My boy's ready with a hockey stick here, mate. So I think he's playing better than you.
Oh, right. Look at you.
Look at this little hockey stick.
Hey, Kashif, you are married, right?
No, I'm not actually.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna put the word out. My man Kashif is looking to get married. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies.
Oh, chef, maybe
£1 fit.
Maybe we should open an Al-Fitra matrimonial site.
Yeah, I did. I have a domain name. I never launched it. I needed some help with it. It's called mywali.com.
I've tried. I'm on that. I'm on the Binder.
My welly.
Yeah, careful with that word.
Sounds very brave.
Yeah,
he said it, not me.
I know, but I know you thought it, Kash. If I saw
that, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
Anything. I was not.
You did.
Honestly,
yeah,
I was too busy. I was too busy just putting rubbish in the bin here.
Yeah. But yeah, I've registered the domain because it is something we do need to do. We need to help people get married, man. And Kashif, we're gonna look for someone for you very soon, inshallah. I thought you were married, bro. Hang on a second. Jamil says, I asked for this because I don't follow Peter Cyber Milad, but there are family members that do. I just want to make sure I was okay doing what I'm doing. Yep. I have to say, my brothers, love you all, brothers. I can watch you all day, and I respect you all for your input, mashallah. Let's keep this video on your channel so I can return to it. Yeah, see, I knew it. Jamil, what can we say, man? Lightweight.
SubhanAllah.
Lightweight. It's only 5 o'clock in the morning. And this is when we start saying weird stuff as well.
Ready?
What?
Oh, it's bright outside now.
There you go. Yeah, daylight.
Daylight. I think. Let me
My window's too far for me to take the curtains.
Let me look on the security cameras. How bright it is outside.
Go on in.
Hold on. I'll show you. Oh, it is bright outside.
Huh? Wait, hold on. Huh? Yeah, let me see. Oh Lord. Hey man, who's that getting in your car? Someone's opening the door.
No, that's
just your finger.
That's just the bin next to. I put a bin between my car to stop people urinating in the corner.
Allah Akbar.
Wow, the things you have to do.
Honestly, there's like, because I put floodlights out there, and then that didn't stop it, and then I was like, okay.
But everybody's in isolation. You shouldn't be having that problem at the moment, isn't it?
No, but it's people just, you know what they're like. Not this is before. And then what I did, I started putting the bin there. So the good thing is the area is now cleaner because people put the rubbish in the bin. and no one's coming behind the area. So see project
Did I
management.
just understand that right? So you put it in the bin, so people just do it in the bin now.
No, people put their rubbish in the bin, but they don't.
Hey Kashif,
The
do you still
area.
have your bike?
I sold my bike because I was worried that let me have a listen. It's not because of anything else. It's the fact that I had nowhere to store it because there was a state of bikes getting stolen. Loads of bikes getting. There was what I saw my friend. He lives in East London. He had a Yamaha R1, and someone got those. You know those cranes that they lift the cars up with.
Yeah.
His CCTV shows someone crane with the car with the bike chained to the thing, chain bang and gone on CCTV.
Wow.
Middle of the day, bang with the crane and off they
Are you
went.
sure the motorbike was not clamped and went for removal? Because that is something I do as a daily job.
No, trust me, he's okay financially.
Yeah, he's like Irfan the one who took that bike.
The father one who took it and sold it to someone in Bulgaria or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I missed my bike. I've got a picture of it somewhere. Hold on.
What do you drive? What do you drive now, Cash?
I have a BMW.
Have you
It
got any
was on
warrant?
0% finance. That's why I got it. That's the only reason I got it.
How much do you pay monthly on it?
I pay $390.
What is it? I need a car, bro. My car's dying. I need a car.
Well, at the moment, you know what? The whole car market is all over the place.
Sheikh, what about your
0% finance deals at the moment. Kia Sportage are doing one.
Can you find me something?
And if you
my car's dying. And by the way, if you guys know any car dealers, I'm looking for someone to donate like a secondhand car. I want to give one away on Eid to some families that are very, very hard up. So on Eid we got loads of prizes. I'd love to give away a motorcycle.
Well, how about have you thought about, instead of giving a secondhand car, you can giving away a car lease. So you give away a car for 2 years. Maybe that might be an option. So if you speak to, I don't know, finance companies or something, they'd be able to sponsor it.
Can you do that for me?
I'll ask around. I know a guy who does. I know a guy who does car rental. But then,
if I know anyone that can do something like that, it's you.
Well, the thing is yeah. So that's this is it all comes down to the money. If a company can write it off as a
tax,
as a tax deductible sort of charity deduction, then they're going to do it. And the only way that's going to happen is that if they sign up for 2 years, because they got the 2 years monthly payments coming in, and they can do it that way.
Wait, if they sign up for 2 years, how do they
basically, if you're a company and you want to do your charity deductions for a whole, so let's say you got £10,000 budget a year.
Yeah.
Out of that £10,000 budget a year, you got car payments coming out every month.
Yeah.
Every month that goes towards your April financial deduction. You understand? So they can actually calculate. It's all about accountants and the calculations and stuff. So
well, have a look from you. Otherwise, there's people who get trade-ins and they don't really want to keep the trade-ins because they're all, they're still decent cars.
Are you still in Luton?
I am.
I know a couple of car dealers in Bedford. That's not far, is it, for me?
To see if they've got a car they want to give away for a charity. We're going to give it away.
I will ask a few people. I know there's always someone who wants. Put it this way: there's always someone who knows someone who's listening in.
Yeah, get the word out. I want to give away some prizes like bicycles or motorcycles or something that the hard up families just would never spend money on. Maybe a brand new barbecue pit or something from B&Q. I really don't know. Just different things.
Well, you know what Trevor Noah did recently?
No, what did he do?
He gave away 50 Microsoft Surfaces to 50 teachers.
Wow.
So he did that. He goes, because he knew there was key work teachers out there who couldn't teach the kids. So he had people tag them in on Facebook with a little thingy, and he gave away 50. And then I think a month later he gave away another 50.
I love that. I used to be a teacher in schools. I regret it.
Used to be.
Well, I didn't even know he was giving them away, man. I missed out.
You need to follow Trevor Noah. He's got a good story. I'm listening to his book right now.
I'm just thinking, why did I become a bailiff? I should have just stayed as a teacher, isn't it?
Oh, the Canadian guy, Trevor Noah.
No, he's South African.
But he lives in Canada or US or something.
Yeah, he does the Daily Show on the thingy, and his story is quite interesting as well.
I love this guy. I really love this guy.
I'm listening to his book. I'm listening to his book on audiobooks right now, and his story. You were talking about the cultures and races and how they've been taken out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It talks about how in South Africa that when the Dutch came over and how the racism came over there, and the fact that the local indigenous guys from South Africa, they were bred out of existence. So the actual South African indigenous people, they're no longer around because they've been bred out, because there's the interbreeding and everything else.
Yeah.
So there's a whole load of.
European have done such horrible things and they got away with it.
Mm.
And it's like now they're in a position of authority over everyone. They're in a position of authority about morality and.
Well, it's not all like if you. I'm trying to phrase it down, but it's not all everyone's there. But then they got people who go over there and go, well, it's their land. People do understand it, so it's all about that was all money.
Yeah, but that's just convenience. That's just convenience, man. Because that just happens to be now. But their grandfather wouldn't have done that. My point is, it's just now times have changed. Social media, education, everything's different. The culture's different. You're not, you know, people can't be the same arrogant, pompous type.
Well, it's still happening in Palestine right now.
Yeah, well, that's the exception. That's the exception.
That's the double standard. That's the double standard.
Yeah,
and that's not being anti-Semitic. Sorry, put it out there. That's just. That's going back to the talk earlier.
Yeah, you heard that, right?
I heard that bit there. I was like, I'm not. It's not. It's just that's. Palestinians are. They're Christians. They're Muslims. They're Jews. They're atheists. They're not. It's a humanitarian thing. It's not take religion out of it.
Well, no, they want you to say things in a specific way.
No, but it's human. Yeah. How can one human person do that to another?
I got nothing against Jewish people. I got nothing against new people, but I do have something against people that are hurting people. And if it happens to be a Jewish person, if it happens to be a Muslim person, if it happens to be anyone, that doesn't make me.
I've got things against people just hurting other people, even other animals. You get people out there just beating up animals for no reason.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, just cruelty, isn't it?
Animal cruelty. Yeah,
that's just it's all anyway. It's life.
All right, guys, love you.
To finish on a good point.
Yeah. I thought you were going to do it. Go on.
No, you do it.
You do it.
Peace and love, everyone.
All right. Okay. On a good note, you're going to find us some prizes to give away for each day. Hopefully a car.
For me?
Yeah, you. And we're going to talk about Cambridge soon. I want to do Cambridge again, man. I want to eat.
No, like I said, I tell you what though, there's so many things that need to be done. At the moment, myself and Ibrahim Rahman, he's the social media officer for the Cambridge Central Mosque, and he's also the social media guy for Cambridge University. So he manages the Twitter account for Cambridge University. So he's done really well for himself. And we've been talking about how this is a whole other discussion. We've been talking about how.
Can you advise me about my social media ethics? Because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Since lockdown, I've learned so much because me and him talk. That's the guy I sent you a picture earlier. So we talk on Teams most night and we just updates, and he's been showing me.
In about 12 days, I'm going to be done with Ramadan. So after that, can you guys include me in those talks so I can listen?
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Like Twitter, I get one viewer. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
No, it's like at the moment, because if you go to the Cambridge Central Mosque and Cambridge Mosque, you'll see the two differences, because Cambridge Mosque has been around since 1981. So we've got a 40th anniversary coming up next year. The Cambridge Central Mosque, which is the new facility, has been around for 1 year.
Yeah.
And if you look at the two differences, obviously it's a beautiful, amazing building. They've got what's his name? You were talking about him yesterday. Yusuf Islam is one of the committee. Well,
he's bigged it up on social media. So
exactly. But there's ways of doing it, isn't it? So they also had had a recent opening by Erdogan came to visit.
That smashed it as well, yeah.
But yeah, so there's those sort of things there. But then there's content management and things you can do which can boost your social media.
I would love that advice, because we're struggling with it, and Facebook is charging me money just to show it to 5 people.
Really?
So, and they're really expensive as well. So we just do what we can, because I can't be bothered to give.
There's a lot of free tools out there. Like there's one which was Linktree. Have you heard of Linktree?
No, what does that do?
just have a look at Linktree. I'll send you a link. So Linktree is because if you look on your Instagram, so if I go to your Instagram page,
Yeah.
let's have a look at Instagram. I'll go to Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on there now.
And if you look at your main page, you know you can only put on there your website is only one link. You understand? You can only put one link on there for people to link onto.
Hang on. Let me go back.
Let me log into my.
Yeah, I see what my web link. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the web see when you put a link tree on there.
Yeah.
You can then link that onto. Let me just log into mine. I'm going to send you this guy's page.
Okay.
And he will show you, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Hold on. And you heard about Twitter Studio and stuff. You can edit videos in there. You heard about that?
Nope.
See all these little things. Right. If you go to this guy's page, I'm going to send you. Share this profile.
Emergency landing.
What's your page again?
Sorry, where do I find it?
JAL. I'm going to send you something. JAL. There we are. I've just sent you a message.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, open that page up.
Yaqeen, this is from America.
Yeah. So now look at his page. You know where you would have like www. It's got Linktree. You see that?
Yeah.
Click on that.
Okay.
What does that do?
No way.
Exactly. So Linktree enables you to do all this, and that's a free tool.
Rock and roll. So where it's an app? I got to download.
So it's an app you can manage it. So you manage it on a web tool, and then on it. So so at the moment,
I got to download the app. Yeah.
Yeah. So download the app, have a little play with it, then you'll see. So that's like I'll show everyone else online. Actually,
but does that mean that everybody else needs to have that Linktree app?
No.
It's just a web tool.
Okay, which one? There's a few. There's Insta Bio, Tap My Bio.
No, just Linktree. So it's linktr.ee. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So So let me
that brought the same thing. Give me bio, link page. Which one is it?
I'm just going to share my desktop with you and show you. Hold on.
Okay. Is this Omar Suleiman Yaqeen Institute?
Let me log in.
What Omar Suleiman was from Bayina, isn't it?
No, that's Noman Ali Khan.
Send that. See if you look over here.
See, it's Omar Suleiman. Yeah, I was right.
So I'll just use it as an example. Don't actually follow them, but if you guys, everyone else looking online, if you're still here, when you click on Linktree, it's a web-enabled tool, and it goes over here, and you can.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find the Linktree app though.
If you go over here, if you go Linktree, you have to set it up. So you have to set it up. So here's the website, and you gotta sign up here. See this thing here where it says sign up.
Hang on, let me see the logo. Go down and see the logo. Oh, it's an actual tree. Yeah, I can't find it. Okay, cool. Let's go to
I'll send that here. I'll send that. That's the website there. If I do copy.
Yeah, but it's a website. It's not an app, basically, because it doesn't.
It's a web-enabled app. So you have to.
Yeah, I'm doing it on my laptop. Hang on.
I'm just sending it to you there. So that's a web-enabled app. So you sign in, and you set it up. So over here, then you can see all these buttons are here. These are all customized. So you can have anything you want on there, and you can activate and deactivate. You understand?
I'll say that again.
See these buttons here that I'm going over? Can you see these buttons? You can activate these as anything you want. So you can have it as
whatever.
Let's talk, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And when you click into it,
it
goes to the content what you want.
It goes to the page basically.
You understand?
Shortcut.
But the main thing is
Shortcut.
because Instagram is so restricted
Yeah.
about what they can put on here. So if I go to the Cambridge Mosque one over here, I haven't set it up yet. But if you go to the Cambridge Central Mosque, if you go to the Cambridge Central Mosque, they've got it here, Linktree. So on their Linktree, they have the Ramadan campaign, Ramadan TV, COVID-19 support,
mashallah.
volunteering, Zakat fund, donate to CMC and the website. So on the last thing, they go to the website. So you do end up going to the website there. You understand?
I got it.
So it's another web-enabled tool which actually brings people to you. These sort of stuff you pick up and learn, sort of thing. So like at the moment, like I literally only just set up the Cambridge Mosque Instagram page because it's all run by volunteers. We've only got 72 followers, and the only thing I put on there is I just do this, and I do like the daily. We did the daily. Where is it? Hold on. So I go around Cambridge and I take pictures of Cambridge, and I do this.
Hang on, I can't see 1 second. I got it left the page. Okay, go on.
So what I do is I go around Cambridge and I do pictures of this. I just put the daily times on there and stuff. But then if you go to the Cambridge Central Mosque,
yeah,
you'll see the big difference. That the fact their content, look, they've got 4,984 followers within a year, and this is the sort of content they put on there. There's Yusuf Islam.
Did you guys have any access? Do you have any contact details for Yusuf Islam?
I don't, but the web guy. I think Sheikh Shazad, Hakeem Winter, this guy here, and Sheikh Shazad are the main people who keep in contact with him.
Hey, listen, can you ask around Hakeem? Ask Hakeem as well. Maybe you can get it from them. I want a bunch of people to do the Eid Mubarak video. Did you do yours?
No.
I need all of Cambridge. I need all the Cambridge people to do their Eid video. Say, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jalal from London. I wish you all an Eid Mubarak. Together we're stronger. One ummah, one Eid. So be creative. Be outside. Be creative. Sing it, scream it, dance it, jump it on a trampoline, whatever. I got some really cool creative videos. But I like some personalities like Yusuf Islam to do that. Give us an Eid Mubarak message.
Yeah, I think they'd want to do it for the Cambridge. They're trying to big up the Cambridge Central Mosque as much as they can. But I'll ask.
Well, why don't they do it with us? So in our video, we'll big up the mosque as well. Obviously, our video is going to go global.
Yeah.
Inshallah. All right, guys, have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. We'll do this all again tomorrow night, okay?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, see you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sorry, Abman. You can go to sleep now. Knock us out. He was waiting. Abdurrahman's like, come on, man. Come on, bro. I want to go to bed.
SubhanAllah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.